Are we ready?
We are ready. We
Oh
are
my
ready
goodness,
like
y'all. This is a day. This is the day. My name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I am here with Miss Marsha Warfield. Okay, let me tell you guys something. Well, first of all, we're here to talk about Night Court and her reprising her role. Night Court is on NBC right now, but I'm so excited to talk to this Chi-Town legend. I myself was born in Chicago in Cook County Hospital. You know,
okay. I'm at St. Luke.
oh, okay, you was born in one of them bougie hospitals. My sister was born in Michael
Uh-uh.
Reed's.
St. Luke
Cook County,
Presbyterian.
you hoped you made it out, right? But
Well, yes and no. I grew up in the civil rights movement era
mm,
and the Black Power. I came of age in the Black Power and
yes, you
Black
did.
exploitation era. So
Yes, you did.
it was if you go to the Museum of African American History and Culture and you
Hmm.
go through all the trauma and history and all that stuff, by the time you get to the 70s,
Hmm.
you are so uplifted at the explosion
Yeah,
of culture that happened in that era.
yeah.
And I'm blessed. I came through a really, really important time.
A very important time, and it's what an important time to be in Chicago.
Yes,
Hmm.
Chicago was involved. My church was involved
Hmm.
with the civil rights movement to the degree
Hmm.
it had. We used to have like 47 collections, uh, one for each movement in the
The
South.
movement, the building fund.
Yeah, all of that. And Jesse Jackson used to come in when
Of course. Well,
he was
Operation
still
Push.
he
Hmm.
wasn't even ordained. This was before Operation Push. He was
Oh,
still
wow.
working with Martin Luther King
Wow.
at that time. He
Wow,
was young.
what a time. So, okay, so just thinking about the era in which you came up and thinking about the trajectory and what you decided to do with your career, I mean, how does comedy really fit into that?
Well, comedy, the truth tellers are the reason I got into it,
Mm-hmm.
or the ones I gravitated to,
Mm-hmm.
the Dick Gregory's, the Richard Pryors,
Mm-hmm.
and Flip Wilson was my first comedy crush
Yeah.
because he was the first time I saw somebody uh, play a black woman unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he didn't put her down. She was the one in charge and in
Mm-hmm.
power, and I'd never seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so Mom's Mabley, when she would do a bit about talking to Lyndon Johnson and say, "Come here, boy," it was just an opportunity to express some activism
Mm-hmm.
uh, because I couldn't join the movement or the
Mm-hmm.
Black Power movement because my mother said no, and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
go outside and hang
Mm-hmm.
around that late. So once I found stand up, I got a chance to find my voice
Mm-hmm.
and say the things that I thought need to be said.
Do you come from a family of performers?
Not at all. My
Really?
parents, my family, my mother was head of her tri-state local of the Communications Workers of America,
Mm-hmm.
and she worked at the phone company Illinois Bell for 25 years, 20,
Oh,
25
Illinois
years.
Bell. I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
I worked at Illinois Bell for 3 or 4 years.
yeah. Uh-huh.
That's where I met my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I got married when I was 18.
At 18, oh no, I would not have been prepared. My mother got married at 18 too. Then
I wasn't
she's
prepared
still
either.
married.
So, I'm not to that person. But yeah, it was an interesting time to grow up.
Sure, 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 sure. And you grew up on the South Side.
I grew up on the South Side. I went to Calumet High School
Okay.
with this girl you might know, have heard of. Her name was it still is Shaka.
Oh, Miss Shaka Khan, she just sings a little bit.
Yeah,
Shaka.
yeah.
I
Well,
get,
when I first heard of her, her name was Yvette.
oh, you knew her as a vet. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but she was like Yvette Shaka, and she
Mm-hmm.
sang in a group, and they sang African songs a cappella at
Mm-hmm.
all our talent shows and stuff.
So it was always you and Shaka as kind of the prominent, popular kids that were always,
No,
no?
I wasn't. No, I didn't do stand up. I didn't do nothing. I was not. I was a problem kid.
Oh, you was one of the bad ones. Well,
I
that's
was
I
a
think that
truant.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so you were a class clown.
Well, no, not really. I was just not there. I didn't
Okay.
really, I didn't go.
You didn't even go. I at least did that. But I mean, I grew up in the suburbs though. Are you familiar with Country Club Hills?
Vaguely. I'm more familiar with Morgan Park. That's
Oh,
where I was.
Morgan Park. Yeah, that's where all the real cool kids went, all the bougie kids.
Well, back then they still had gravel instead of pavement at the
Oh,
curb. It was still very much a country little area, Morgan Park, where the black people live.
oh
Once you
yes.
get up a little further,
Mhm.
then it became very nice and well kept.
You know they torn down Evergreen Plaza years ago.
Yeah,
That ain't
well,
there no
I
more.
remember when they didn't let us go to Evergreen Plaza.
Oh, see, I don't even remember that. I remember when that
Yeah.
was the only one that we went to.
No, they didn't let black people go to Evergreen Plaza. My parents bought a house in Gresham
Wow.
on 88th Street in 1967. It
Wow.
was 70% white then, and over the summer it turned 70% black, and by the next summer it was all black.
I don't think people realize just how segregated, like just down to the block and the house that Chicago is. It's a very different experience.
No, we couldn't go past
Yeah.
Ashland.
Yeah. Because no, I remember as a kid even growing up, well, and originally before I moved to Country Club Hills, we lived off of like by the South Commons, like 31st and Michigan. And then what I
Yeah.
would say, you can't go to Bridgeport, you cannot cross that expressway, you can't go there, you know.
No, you can't.
You
Can't
could
do
not
that.
do that. Yeah. And it was it was drilled into us. Don't ever go on that side of town, you
Right.
know. So you know.
Unless you're working. Now, if you were doing day work, you
hmm
could go there.
hmm
But you had to be, they talk about sundown towns. You had to
Yeah,
be out of that area by 6 o'clock.
it's true. No,
Yeah.
you know it more than I do. So what brings it? No, I mean, what brings a Chicago girl to Hollywood? How did you do it? It's a very hard,
Uh,
second city.
I I don't no, I didn't go to Second City. I really didn't
No.
want to do improv.
hmm
I didn't want to do that. Stand up was my love.
Right.
And so I heard about a open mic night and anybody could go. So I went.
It's like, okay, and that was funny.
Yeah, and that's when I felt like I had a calling,
hmm
to do this.
Do you know how long I have waited in my life to just run into you? I was like, maybe I just gonna run into her like on the south side of Chicago or something.
I would love to, I like going back. In fact, I went to Chicago to work at Riddles.
Oh, you
Uh,
did?
and I know there's some TikTok creators
hmm
that I love who are from Chicago. So I
hmm
told them I was coming and I asked if I could meet with them. So Dilla and Pookie Bear and Donnell Wright, they came to the show and Dilla and Pookie Bear took me out to dinner and we went to different, they showed me different Southside restaurants that I didn't know about. And I got to hang out with them while I was there. So I had a ball.
That's so wonderful. But listen, Miss Marsha, we got to talk about Night Court. I want to know
Yes,
because you were at some point, I mean, you were pretty much effectively retired, right?
yes, I was.
So you were just
And
minding your retired business, living your best life. And they called
yeah,
you up like, do you mind doing a show a little bit? Come back. What was that
well,
like?
no, that wasn't what did it. I was doing stand up. I got back into
Okay.
stand up
hmm
in about 2017 for sure.
Nice.
And I was working and doing my thing. And then when the reboot came, it was like, they're doing a whole new thing. And I'm like, bless you, go ahead. I wish you all the best. And then I got they called and they asked if I would do the season finale, the first season.
A lot of people, like, I mean, we all grew up watching Night Court. So it was really lovely to see you on. But, there's also some things like as far as coming back on set, I was really wondering how that felt to come back into the role. And then I was also wondering how you felt because they actually do incorporate Harry's passing into the script as well. So what was that like? And also just seeing some of your old friends and just getting back on that set after having been retired and, living your best life before that phone call. How was all of that? Just all those emotions and just the feeling.
Well, being back on the night court set, it was very easy. It was
hmm
very comfortable.
hmm
Everybody it's still uh, 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 an affectionate, it's a family.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, uh, it was just coming home,
Yeah.
kind of feeling, and getting to work with John was nice. Yeah, the people who are not there, you
Yeah.
know, their absence is felt
Mm-hmm.
all the time, but it's not a negative feeling. It was an affectionate feeling. It's, you know, you
Sure.
miss them and remember all of the times we spent together, you know. And Harry and the whole cast was very accepting of me when I first came on the show. They had lost two people they cared about,
Mm-hmm.
and I was stepping into a role of you know, Selma Diamond was very much beloved, and so was Flo. And I was stepping into a role as a rookie. Uh, but they didn't, you know, there are people who would resent you for taking that part or whatever.
Right, right.
None of they embraced me. They helped me. I told them straight up, I'm not an actress. I'm a stand-up comic. And Harry said, I'm not an actor either. I do magic. He said, watch those guys. That's what I do. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's been a positive experience for me all the way around.
That's so great. I mean, it's been so lovely talking to you. I mean, you just lit up my world being able to talk to you. And I'm being very sincere about that. You know, it's just
Well,
like
thank you.
my whole childhood.
Well, watch Night Court, watch the season finale on the 26th
The 26th.
because
Mm-hmm.
it is vintage Night Court. It's
Yeah.
a fun show and it's very has all the elements of the show that people fell in love with the first time.
When they fell in love with the show and when they fell in love with Roz. And I'm definitely not going to spoil it to everybody. But again, once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com. And of course, I've been here with the legendary Marsha Warfield. It has been such an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. As you said before, make sure that you watch Night Court. And the season finale is March 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC. If you haven't been watching it, make sure you watch it. It is definitely gives complete justice to the original. It's a lot of fun. And it's also like very nice to see a show that kind of gives it's more like the classic sitcom format. A lot of shows are, you know, we're seeing a lot of reality TV now, so it's nice to see that right now, I think.
It's nice to be a part of it,
I,
and we look forward to seeing everybody and everybody getting a chance to enjoy it.
and we look forward to seeing you. It's so nice to talk to you, Miss Marsha. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining me.
Likewise.
Take care.
Southside.
Southside.
See you.
Had to say it. Southside.
Okay,
Take
see you
care.
later, Southside.
See, well, I'm gonna run this down. I'm gonna just grab you and give you a big old hug.
Okay.
If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.